Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Rehse. I'm your PHYS 1400 instructor for this fall 2023. We're about 3 weeks out from the start of the semester, so I thought I would touch base with everybody and talk a little bit about these mastering physics assignments that you're going to be doing throughout the course of the semester. Mastering physics is obviously an online assessment tool that we'll be using to assign and grade homework to you, but I'm going to be using it for a lot more than just homework. And so I wanted to go through what mastering physics is. Some of these things are going to be available very, very shortly, several weeks before the course begins. And if you have time now before you really get busy when the semester starts, this might be the time that you actually want to start doing some of these assignments. So I think that would be a really good idea. So let's go ahead and take a look at mastering physics, assuming that none of you have used it before. So the first thing you're going to have to do is get online with mastering. So if you go to my syllabus, I'm going to bring that up on the screen here now. Here it comes. All right, so this is the syllabus, which all of you should have been looking at by now. It's posted at the Brightspace site, where you're actually probably linking this video from. And on the second page, I've given very clear instructions on how to get in line with mastering physics. So you see what's going to be required for the course this year. You have to have a textbook. That is an ebook that comes embedded in the mastering physics site. You have to have a license to mastering physics. You can actually get online and do the assessments and be graded on that. And then you're going to have to be getting a laboratory manual as well. That'll be an online manual you'll have to acquire, and we'll have details on that coming out in a little bit. But for today, we're just talking about mastering physics. So here's a one-page instruction sheet. This is how you register for our course. Once you have a Pearson student account, you'll probably be using that if chemistry is still using mastering chemistry, mastering physics in all subsequent semesters, and everything like that. And it gives you instructions on how to enroll in my course and then how to get in to that course once you've enrolled and once you've created an account. Note that this course, this is specific to my course. So mastering physics is not just like some website that you go in and, oh, my cousin had an account from a year ago, so I'll just use that account. No, it doesn't work that way. What you are doing is enrolling yourself in a course I have created, and that's why you have to have this course. Rehse 69246 is the specific PHYS 1400 course I'm using. You can't be enrolled in Dr. Rahali's mastering course because that's a different section. It's a different course. You have to be enrolled in my course, and that instructions are here. People are already getting enrolled already. We do this every single year, so it should be no problem at all for you to get online. So I would recommend that you get online with mastering as soon as you can and start checking it out. I don't want you having troubles getting access to it once the course starts, because there's going to be assignments due almost right away once the course starts. So let's take a look at kind of what's coming up in store for you with mastering physics. I'm going to share my screen here. This is what I'm seeing. This is not what you're going to see in mastering physics, but I just wanted to go through the different types of grading assessments that we're going to be using and the different types of assignments I'm going to be assigning. So one thing you're going to see, if I just go to the bottom, there's going to be scheduled readings that I am assigning to you. Now, the readings are not worth any points at all. It's just a way to help you keep up to speed with where in the course and where in the book we are. So I'm assigning these readings. There's an assignment due date, so you know exactly what you're supposed to be reading for every class. These things are not graded at all. I'm not really checking on whether you're actually doing the readings or not, but this is so you can keep track of where you're supposed to be in the book. These things will always be available, so you can, of course, always go back. You have access to the ebook, so you can read anytime you want. Then there's going to be these between class assignments. And the way I have them set up, it looks like some of these are going to become available already starting August 18th. So starting August 18th at midnight, so I guess that's probably August 19th, that'll be Saturday morning, these things will be available for you. And you should do them at your leisure, but before the semester starts, it'd be a great idea to do it. So these first two are going to be really, really important, and that's why they're being released on August 18th. So Introduction to Mastering Physics, you're all going to want to do that. It's 6 items. It's not worth any points, all right? So it's an ungraded assessment, but boy, you really have to do this because it takes you step by step through what is mastering physics, what mindset should you be using, an introduction to numeric and symbolic answers, introduction to vector notation, how to get started with these dynamic study modules, which I'll talk about a bit, and then something about your e-text. But the introduction to mastering is going to tell you how you actually use it. How do you enter numbers? How do you enter symbols? If you come to me and say, oh, Dr. Rehse, I have the right answer, but I'm typing in, it's not taking it. And if I look and you have not done the introduction to mastering physics, you're on your own there, because don't come to me for help when the answers of how you're supposed to type in scientific notation, how you're supposed to enter a vector, it's all explained in here. So this introduction to numeric and symbolic answers. So this is let's just go to the standard view for you guys. It's going to look something like this. They're going to say, things like this. What is the area of a rectangle? Stuff like that, grading answers. And it's just going to take you step by step through what happens if you get the right answer. What happens if you get the wrong answer? What happens if you ask for a hint? All right, you have to go through all that, because for different assessments, if it's multiple choice, we take points off every time you incorrectly guess an answer. So it's what happens if you take a hint? So we're allowing you to, some professors will penalize taking hints, and like in our course, you can take a hint and not get penalized. And so it's going to take you through all of that. And don't come to me asking these questions until you've gone through all these things and you really have a grasp on how mastering physics works and how it's being implemented. What do you type? What happens if you click this? What happens if you're wrong? How many significant figures do I need? How do I type in centimeters squared as a unit? How do I draw a vector? What do I do with a graph? There's all kinds of stuff in this, and you're going to use that in all the subsequent assignments. It really should be worth a lot more points, but because, as it says here, some questions ask the student to open hints and submit wrong answers deliberately, there's no points for it, because you're not going to be penalized for opening hints, submitting wrong answers. It's just to show you what's going to happen when you actually do that in the real assignments. But please do that right away. There's no reason, once you have Mastering Physics access, that you can't just go ahead and do that right away. Do it before the class starts, okay? And then it looks like there's another one that's going to be available after August 18th, and that's the physics primer. The physics primer is going to be worth points. It's 10 items worth a total of 20 points. This is the only assignment where everything is worth 2 points instead of 1 point, because I actually feel it's that important. It's just welcome to the physics primer. Questions on scientific notation, how you use your calculator, how you use unit conversions, working with fractions, simplifying algebraic expressions. This is all the stuff that physics students get hung up on, all right? So I'm talking to you, if you have any fear or trepidation about doing well in your university physics course, because I don't know what your high school physics course is like, go through these primers, go through the study modules I'm going to be talking about. These are like tutorials for you. They're going to help you do all these things. So this is a required assignment. Right triangles, what is geometry? How do you solve two equations? How do you simplify an algebraic expression? This is stuff that it is expected you know mathematically coming out of high school. And this, if you don't know it and you're worried, oh boy, I'm going to be behind the curve, go through this, work through it slowly, learn from these things, learn how to do these standard physics tasks that, again, you're going to need to be able to do them. It's the bare minimum to even start doing any university level physics problems. And this is going to be available for you just in a few days, right? It looks like it should be available on August 19th, right at midnight, I guess. Then you can see there are these other between class assessments. So this is all talked about in the syllabus. We talked about what the syllabus looks like, that the Mastering Physics is worth 15% of your grade. The between class assessments are worth 5%. And then the homeworks are worth 10%. So the homeworks are weighted double the between class assessments. The between class assessments are just to keep you up to speed with what's happening between classes. It'll kind of jog your memory and little exercises. So once you've seen something together with me in class, then you can apply it in a way that'll help. And then there's going to be a lot of those. They're worth less. And then these bigger homework assignments will be released probably at the end of each chapter. But here's another really cool thing that Mastering Physics does, which is these called dynamic study modules. I'm releasing these dynamic study modules to you. They are always available. So you should see them right away when you get into mastering physics. They're not worth any points. These are, again, things that are to help you do well in this class. And yes, I will be looking at them again when you come to me and are, later in the semester and you're begging for points because maybe you're not doing so well. And I'm going to say, did you do any of these tutorials that are there to help you do well? And it's probably going to be, no, I didn't do them. Then there's just nothing I can do for you because you're not taking advantage of the help that's being offered. And these dynamic study modules are just great resources that Pearson has put online through Mastering Physics to help you learn all kinds of things. And I'm going to be releasing dynamic study modules. There's no points involved with them because I'm not going to make you do them. But boy, if you think you need help before you're paying for a tutor or going to Google or like looking at YouTube videos, be looking at these things. These are specifically crafted and designed to help you do well in this course. Some of them aren't even related to physics. So let's look at, here we go, study skills, time management. So this is just maybe a lot of people coming into university are always worried about how do I manage my skills? So let's just take a look at what this assignment looks like. I think I can look at the overview of this thing. So this is the dynamic study module. I guess I'm not able to look at it right now. I wonder why that is. Okay, so I can look at these things in just a little bit. So I'll show you an example of what they look like because they're actually pretty cool. And I hear it. So these are just, how do you use the dynamic study modules, strengthen your test taking ability. But then I have some that are going to be really important. Math skills, solving equations, scientific notation, vectors and trig, which everybody has troubles with. Oh my goodness, does everybody have trouble with these guys? So I would suggest first you go to what is using the dynamic study modules. I would probably go to this one first. We'll go to the student view. That's actually what it looks like, and you'll see kind of what it looks like. So this is, I'm viewing it as a student. So this is just telling you, it's just lots of embedded videos and things to watch, and it's describing what the dynamic study modules are about. That one we were looking at before, if we look at how you're worried about time management, right? So this is going to be useful for all your courses, guys. Time management, right? Everybody's going to be concerned about that. So I'll bring this thing up on the screen, and you can see that this is just, it's got some videos that it takes you through.
Time management skills may not come naturally.
And it just helps you teach you about time management. And then it's going to ask you a few short questions. What are the following strategies that can help a student who's struggling with procrastination? And what we love about the dynamic study modules is there's no right or wrong answers. It's like, I just don't know yet, or I think this one, but I am sure, or I am unsure. So the whole point of the dynamic study modules, what you'll learn in the first module, is you answer questions, but it's going to ask you a question and you say, I don't have any clue. I know this and I'm sure I know this, but I'm not really sure. And it's going to compile all that information. And then based on your answers, it's going to give you more information, but just the information you need. So when you go through the math bits, let's take a look at the math bits and see how that works. So if I go to all assignments, so one of the ones that's available already, right, always available here, should be math skills module. Let's just see here. And how about vectors and trig? You guys want to do vectors and trig? That looks good. Student view for vectors and trig. It's not showing up. Okay. So let me stop sharing my screen for 1 second. I know how to fix that. I will share my screen and let's just share. I'll just share my entire screen. How about that? So we're sharing that. Perfect. All right. So now if I go to the student view on this thing, up pops something. There you go. Okay, so now you're seeing what I'm saying. So this is, what's the magnitude? So we're going to be doing vectors. What's the magnitude of the y component of vector b? I don't know yet. You're like, pfft. So this is, say you really nailed vector components in high school. Okay, you know the answer. Boom, you put it in there. What if you just have no clue? I don't know yet. So you submit that answer. You know, it's going to ask you a bunch of questions, and then it's compiling data behind the scenes. It's going to say, okay, this person doesn't know anything vector components, and then it's going to release a bunch of tutorials to you to teach you how to do vector components. So, but on the other hand, if you know the answers, it's going to say, oh, this student knows these things. We don't need to give him or her any more tutorials on that right now. So that's a really, really cool thing that I think you should be taking advantage of. So when you go into Mastering Physics, you're going to see dynamic study modules on study skills of studying versus learning, strengthening your test taking skills. Who doesn't want to do that? How to develop time management skills. And then the first one is using the dynamic study module resource, and it's going to explain to you what it is that it's doing. I would go ahead and just do those. There's no grades on any of this, guys, but this is going to help you be a better student. The one thing I believe is you all want to be better students when you come to university. Use these resources. Once you've seen all of that and you're ready to get into a bit more technical detail, I've released 4 mathematics dynamic study modules: significant figures, unit conversion, scientific notation. We're doing that the first week of class. Solving equations, percentages, graphs, and then differential and integral calculus. That's probably a little bit ahead of where we need to be. Vectors and trigonometry, that you are for sure going to need to know how to do. There's no grades on any of it, but go ahead and do it. It is a tutor designed to help you do well in this course. I can't stress that enough. If you're not taking advantage of these tools, you're not doing everything you can do to do well in the course. And then you're going to say, well, what YouTube videos can you suggest? And can you give me more homework assignments? Can you suggest a tutor? You're not even using the tools that are being given to you. You're already paying for this resource. You should absolutely be taking advantage of those things. I just think they're amazing. And then I will be assigning more of them as we progress through the semester. I know there's a dynamic study module on forces, Newton's laws, things like that. So you can go through them, and it's like stepping back from our course a little bit and saying, what do I really understand about this subject, and where are my weaknesses and where are my strengths, and what do I need to shore myself up on? And then there's going to be the bigger homework assignments, right? So the homework assignments are probably going to be released at the end of every chapter, and you'll have like a week to do them. And that'll be graded worth more. So this is just my thought on using the dynamic study modules. So they're here. Again, how do you use these things? There's a lot of resources, and you're going to learn that these things are really good. So career centers on campus. I don't know what career centers are for. What might you ask your instructor during office hours? Well, that's a good question. What are you going to ask Dr. Rehse? Yeah, you might ask him, how do I study for your exam? Sure. Definitely, you're going to want to clarify test questions you didn't know how to do. Don't ask them to reteach a lecture that you missed. That's not really our job. But a specific question, yeah, that could be good. Yeah, I think I'm sure of that. Hey, I was sure and correct. And it's going to like give you a little encouragement and say, yeah, way to go. Go on to the next one, for example. So, they're also kind of just fun to do. So I really hope you guys take advantage of those. So that's all I have for now. That's just kind of an overview of the types of things that you have available through Mastering. Dynamic study modules, available now, available throughout the entire semester. So anytime you're feeling like you need to take them, retake them, do it. Between class assessments, 2 of them are going to be available very, very soon. The physics primer and the introduction to mastering. You have to do both of them, although only the primer is graded. But I can't, again, stress how important it is to learn how to do that. And then there's homeworks, which you won't be seeing yet. The homeworks will get released after we get to the point where I think that you're ready to do those homeworks. So that's all for now, guys. I hope a lot of you are starting to get online with the Mastering Physics, starting to explore, trying to understand how it works. It's a very powerful tool. I hope you don't think of it as just a place where you send your homework. It's more than that. It's a structured system between the course, the ebook, your textbook, and these questions and probing assessments that I'm going to be using. To actually ask you questions. The between class assessments, they are not, even some of those are not just specifically questions where you fill in numbers and answer. In the between class assessments, there's embedded videos, and it says, now watch this, and having watched this, it's called a tutorial. Having watched this tutorial, do you now know how to apply this thing? So that's another way of getting like another type of tutor that people are always asking for. There's these tutorials built in to the between class assessments that I can release, and that's just a way for another instructor to explain the same type of material. So it's a lot of power at your fingertips. And the sooner you know how to use it, I think the better your chances are of doing really well in this class. So that would be my advice. I would not, definitely don't put it off until classes start. Like I said, we have about 3 weeks of classes, 3 weeks before classes start now. Now would be a perfect time to get online with mastering, to understand exactly how it goes, and just to get through all these assessments that are already out there. And then you're going to be really up to speed by the time class starts. And I think that's going to be a huge advantage for you. So good luck with that, everybody. Keep your eye out on Brightspace for any further communications related to this topic or any other topic. So thanks a lot. Have a great day. Bye.